चैतन्य चरितामृत मध्य लीला टेक्स्ट 6.234 आजी कृष्ण प्राप्ति योग्य हैल तोमार मान वेद धर्म लंघि कैल प्रसाद भक्षण। आजी कृष्ण प्राप्ति योग्य हैल तोमार मान। Today चैतन्य चरितामृत 6.234 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking this to Sarvabhauma, and he says, today your mind has become fit, become qualified to attain Krishna. What is the qualification? Veda dharma langhi kaila prasada bhakshan. That you have langhi, you have gone beyond, you have transcended Veda dharma. And the evidence that you have transcended Veda dharma is that you have taken prasad. So, now there are many extraordinary points in this verse. That langhi Veda dharma, that you have gone beyond Veda dharma. The path of Bhakti is Vedic as well as trans-Vedic. Vedic in the sense that it is ultimately founded in the body of knowledge that is coming from the Vedic literature. At the same time, within that vast body of knowledge, there are gradations of knowledge. And among those gradations, it is important to recognize that there is not everything is created equal. That means, just like we say all people are not created equal, similarly not all scripture is revealed equal. So there are within the scripture also levels. There is Shastra Taratamya, there is a hierarchy within scripture, and that hierarchy needs to be understood in order to be able to recognize the conclusion of scripture and the glory of that conclusion. So Veda Dharma Langhi indicates that the Vedas themselves largely talk about material religiosity. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And one needs to go beyond these to attain the conclusion. Now this is not something which is an imposition, this is actually the conclusion is indicated in the Bhagavad Gita itself, where Krishna says, Vedaischa sarvairahame vavedya, that by all the Vedas I am to be known, Krishna says. At the same time, he also says that those who take up the spiritual path, those who want to become strong and steady in the spiritual path, they need to go beyond the Vedas. He talks about this several times. First he says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhava Arjuna. It's 2.45. The Vedas talk about things within the three modes of material nature, but you need to go beyond them. Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. To go beyond the modes means to go beyond the Vedas, or rather the two are equivalent, and that means not being caught up with material ups and downs. Not worrying about them, but being situated in a spiritual consciousness. And that same thing continues in the next verse when Krishna says, Yavanarthau dapane sarvatah sampluto dake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. That whatever purposes are served by various small wells, they are all served by one river. Similarly, whatever purposes are served by the Vedas, the different Vedas serve different specific purposes, but they are all served by one who knows Brahmanasya Vijanataha. The learned person who knows the purpose of Vedas, all of them is served for them. So this here in 2.46, Krishna responds that, how can somebody go beyond the Vedas? Aren't we meant to follow the Vedas? Yes, we are meant to follow, but the Vedas have a purpose. And one who understands that purpose and fulfills that purpose is fortunate. So this is the first time Krishna talks about going beyond the Vedas. And the same theme comes in a few verses later in 2.52, 53, 54. That section when Krishna talks about, he says that Shruti vid pratipannate yadasthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi idate moha kalilam buddhirhati tarishyati tada gantasi nirbedam shrotavyasya shutasya cha. He says that when your intelligence has gone beyond the forest of delusion, then then you will become detached from what you have heard and what you will hear in the future. So here, Shotavya refers to the hearing about the Karmakanda sections in scripture which offer tantalizing promises of heavenly pleasures if one does Karmakandi rituals properly. And it is stated here that, oh, Arjuna, that means as long as you are deluded, till that time you are attracted to the promises. And if you are no longer deluded, and it's saying not about the mind being deluded, the intelligence being deluded. So that is significant because to follow scripture itself requires intelligence. One needs to have faith in scripture, and that requires intelligence. But even within that, there are levels of intelligence and there are levels of scripture. And Krishna makes it even more clear in the next line. He says that Shruti vipratipannate yadasthasyati nischala, that when you are no longer disturbed when your mind stays undisturbed, even when you hear scriptural statements, when you hear things which seem to differ from this goal of transcendental realization. Tada jala Shruti pratipannate yadasthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi. When you stay satisfied in transcendence, at that time you have attained yoga. So now there are these 4 verses in the second chapter which talk about going beyond the Vedas. Then Krishna talks about this again in the 6th chapter, and he's not even talking about somebody who has perfected yoga. He's saying that somebody who is on the process of yoga, who is deviated but now is taking off again after interruption, after one goes through one life again. So 6.43-44 he says Purvabhyasena tenaiva Riyate yavashopi sah jigyasurapi yogasya shabda brahmati vartate. So Krishna says that person getting intelligence from the previous life starts practicing bhakti, and when that starts practicing spiritual life in general, and goes beyond Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma here refers to the Vedic sound which is recommending sense gratification. Not exactly religious sense gratification, but pious sense gratification. Karma Kanda. Shabda Brahma Tivartate. The person goes beyond the reach of Shabda Brahma, Vedic sound. And Krishna is again recommending that. He's appreciating that, and he's saying such a person should go, and that person will go because the spiritual intelligence, the intelligence acquired from the previous life, will be carried over to this life. And then Krishna also talks in the 8th chapter, in the last verse, 30th verse, where he said that one will attain something which cannot be attained even by the Vedas. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punyaphalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanamupayati chadyam. He says that whatever is attained by the Vedas, by study of Vedas, and in general following whatever rituals are given in the Vedas, whatever practices are recommended in the Vedas, one will get that, and one will get more param sthanam, the supreme destination. So implied is that one will not get the supreme destination simply by following the Vedas. One will get that if one practices yoga diligently. And then even more categorically, Krishna says that in the 11th chapter, he says that the Vishwarupa cannot be seen by the study of the Vedas also. And he says even Krishna's form, of course, cannot be seen. Naham vedaina tapasa danena chaichaya. And then lastly, so this is 11.50, 354. So 11th chapter also some verses come, and then finally the most unambiguous, most forceful is the conclusion of the Gita, the Charam Shloka, as Ramanujacharya puts it, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So give up all varieties of religion and just surrender to me, Krishna says. So here now, where are people going to get their conception of dharma from? He's saying from Veda. So go beyond the Vedas and surrender to me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying the same thing over here. That today you have gone beyond Veda Dharma Langhi, Kaila Prasada Bhakshan. And it's not just the eating of prasad that is special. We may say, I have eaten prasad so many times. Like thousands of times I have eaten. And but the point is, eating prasad with such spontaneous, strong, stirring faith, that is the indication that Sarvabhauma has received the mercy of the Lord, and that is appreciated by Lord Chaitanya. Thank you.